Alicia is standing before undeads in the forest and tries to contact Dylan's group. She takes out her weapon and cuts the rope. Here, Victor is surrounded by radiated undeads, and propellers are on the ground. Charlie distracts them. Alicia has killed most of them. Morgan is on the radio. He can't lift the propellers. Victor says they're doing a morning walk with radiated undeads. She kills as many as she can, but there are still a lot. Grace is here at the power plant. She kills more of them. Victor asks Morgan to bring a vehicle to carry the propellers. June and Al are going for Victor and Charlie. He contacts Grace for her help, telling her about the crash and needing her truck. He's on the other side of the road blockade. She wants to help, but can't get out of here without fixing the generator. A few miles east of his location, there's a colony of workers. He might find something helpful there. Alicia gets deeper into the forest, and the undeads are not stopping. Dylan is here. He asks her to follow him. Victor carries the propeller towards a camp he made. Charlie brings a cloth blockade between the undeads and them. Dylan says a code and doors open. She gets inside. She wants to help. Annie doesn't want her help. She shouldn't have come here. Annie asks about Alicia's weapon. This is her past and gives her the power to stay alive. Annie says why can't she leave them alone? She can't give up until she tries all ways to save them. By staying here, others will lose their lives as well. It is as crazy to stay here as it is to fix the plane. Annie says, you crashed to reach here. She stood in a forest full of undeads, but she still didn't give up. Why? Annie says there's something else. Alicia says that she wants to make up for some things she did in the past. She hurt and killed some people. People and places don't stay forever with you. Annie says they're not going, and she's not going as well until they clear the undeads and cover up the tracks she left behind towards this place. The plane is leaking. Al checks, and the fuel is almost gone. They have a tank full of gas, but they need aviation fuel, and Al knows where to find it. Morgan has found a car and is looking for the key. He finds a bag and finds nothing. He gets into a house, checks for undeads, and searches the house for something useful. Alicia radios him. She's fine and has found the kids. He's attempting to find a car. Both are in a contaminated area. She asks about Dory and Dwight. They're out of range. She tried a lot, but it's not working. Morgan has found the key. Alicia still has not been able to understand why they're still alive. Everything has a reason, Morgan says. Morgan sees himself in the shadow of an undead and says they must get everyone on the plane out of here. Al is here at the mountain. This is where she saw the helicopter landing. If she finds anything, she'll throw a rope. June tells John that they're taking the fuel. John needs to get here fast as the second reactor is about to melt. Their connection is cut. John says they need to go. Dwight says he should go and thanks him. He wants to further look for her. He intends to give him a letter but doesn't. Victor thinks these clothes will stop these. She says Daniel says every day gives a chance to start over. She says they might not get that chance. He says we already have got it. He kept saying he should have been on the plane. The truth is he had time to get onto the plane, but he hesitated because maybe he really didn't believe in them. But now he's standing tall here and she's along. They have just done an extraordinary thing and didn't hesitate, and now they never will again. Someone is here. Undeads are being killed. He sees it's a man in a suit, Mr. Morgan. He has to get them out of here. Max says Dylan brought her here because she might want to help, while Annie considers her a problem. He says the plane can still fly. She says they'll be safe here. The undeads break their ropes. Both get out of here. Alicia checks Dylan's old photos and drawings. She goes through a notebook and finds out tying undeads was his idea. He's scared of the undeads outside. He takes his box and says he drew them at the beginning of the apocalypse. He was playing Red Rover with Max and Annie in a dream, and Annie saw them and found them scary. That's why they stood them here to keep people away. Dylan is living in a bad nightmare. After losing her mom, Alicia sharpened her weapon. It kept her safe from undeads and got her away from living people. They open doors and get in. All the undeads are on their doorstep now. The generator has failed. Morgan goes for Grace. He tells her that he found a car. She says the generator is burnt out due to being too small and drawing too much power. They have 12 hours or maybe a day. Morgan will finish the plane in that time. She will try to fix the generator, and after finishing, will meet him at the truck stop. Morgan shows the truck stop, which is 10 miles away, and he'll meet them there. He is going for Grace. He will try to get back ASAP. June and Al have got the fuel. Knowing where to find fuel, June says they must get it done and tries to contact John, but no response. She says for a year, she had no contact with him and will not let it happen again. Al wants to tell her about Isabella, but she has to keep it a secret. She tells her that she met her when she was missing and felt love, but she can never see or talk to her again. When June left John in the cabin, he had become lost like a living corpse. She asks, what would you call a human who loses her most important part? She says only one thing to Al, that if she ever can't see him again, she'll remain grateful for all the time they spent together. In such a time of apocalypse, this feeling can stay alive. And she knew that it will stay alive. She is sure that Al will meet that person again, and June shall meet John again. The door is about to break. Annie doesn't have a single bullet. Alicia wants to help, but Annie is still being a bitch. But after all, Max and Dylan insist. She gives her weapon. She asks them to make another way while she stops them. John's vehicle runs out of fuel. They check a truck using wires, but it doesn't work. He says she might have gone across the mountains. He says they can do it, but they might have got into a problem, and tells about lying about the letter. He gives him the letter, and he reads it. John is sorry for him. He gets out of the truck. Grace is trying to fix the generator, and Morgan is here in a suit. He asks her to stop acting like she's dead. Alicia kills undeads at a fast pace and asks Max. They need more time, so she has to kill more. Annie sees her. She kills a lot of them. One of them falls at her. While she kills it, its blood gets on her face, and this one is radiated. Annie takes aim but can't kill a single one. They fall right on them. Finally, she kills them both. Alicia says it's not gonna work. She can't stop them as she had said. She asks her to get them onto the plane and save them. Annie says whatever you have done, you have made up for it. The kids leave. Alicia attracts more. Victor and Charlie are at the stop and need a shower and clothes. Grace didn't leave any way for him besides coming here. He tells her about Eastman. He taught him something which helped him get out of complications. He taught him that all lives are precious. He taught him redirection as well. So Morgan redirected her by putting his life at risk since Grace didn't care about hers. They both have the same problem. They think others' lives are more precious than theirs. The plane is almost fixed. The door opens and the kids are here. Lucy introduces Victor and Charlie to them. Alicia made them agree, but she's still there. She is here alone. John says, I know you might not be very happy with me, and I don't think so. I'll be able to say that this world didn't change him. Dwight says, it's not his mistake, and reads, find a reason to live and live. If he acts upon what she said and finds a reason to live, she's the reason to live. So he'll not give up. When he gets there, he might find her alive. Now Dwight is going to take John to June. Morgan asks if she's fine. She answers positively. Luciana told him about the kids. She did it. He is returning with Grace as well. Morgan says when they get back home, they will help people and will live their own lives as well. They will find a new way to live. He asks about her location. Suddenly, a siren starts. It's the reactor's countdown to melting.